Right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and welcome back to Bournemouth Kawasaki. Huge thank you to the guys here. As you can tell, I've been doing a lot of videos here recently. Very kind, always welcoming for me to take out a bike and do a review. And today we've come on the 636 and we are doing a review on the Kawasaki Versys 1100. So this is going to be quite an interesting review for me, because I had a Tracer 9 GT Plus Yamaha for around 6 months. Obviously this is somewhat of a competitor, a bit higher on the CC, a bit more power in this, and obviously with my new love for Kawasaki, I'm very interested to give this bike a try. So yeah, don't know much about this bike really, never ridden one, so you guys will be learning with me today, and that is why this is a first ride review. Learning as we go into these nice and blind, so I give a very genuine first ride reaction to the bike. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. We'll take a look around the bike, go through the stats, then we will get on the road and see how it is.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Right, so there it is. I think it's a very good looking bike. Obviously sports tourers are never going to be the most beautiful bike in the world, but this one does look very good. I'm a big fan of the colour scheme on this bike. One little thing I do want to comment on is I've just put it on the centre stand, and oh my god, it was so effortless to put it on the centre stand. The Tracer 9, when I had that, it felt like you had to give your full strength and full effort to put it on the centre stand, and it was difficult. This one took literally no effort whatsoever. I don't know how, I don't know why it felt so much different, but the centre stand, easiest I've ever used, and this is a heavy bike and it was so easy, so that's a huge bonus on this bike. And another bonus is value for money. This bike starts at £11,899, which is a decent price for what it is. An 1100cc touring bike, that price you cannot argue with. That is a good price. Obviously this is the base model. As all Kawasaki's, they do offer an SE, which will have slightly fancier electronic suspension which adjusts on the fly, various other things like that. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with it, so I'm not sure on the specifics of what extras that bike will offer. As for the engine, obviously this is an inline 4-cylinder, so power wise it's pushing out about 133 brake horsepower and 112 newton meters of torque, so it is by no means a slouch. Just looking at the stats, this is 255 kg. That is pretty crazy, and 259 kg for the SE model. That is very surprising to me after just riding it the little bit I have and putting it on the centre stand, as it does not feel like it weighs that much, so that is pretty crazy. But yeah, that is the stats on the bike. I'm not going to go too in depth of that, as that really doesn't tell you all that much about the bike. I think the best way to tell is get on the road and properly feel it to know how it is. I really like the little rev counter there. It's a really nice touch, but obviously it has also got the nice display on the side there, so best of both worlds really. Bit of modern tech, but also a bit of analogness to it, which I really like. We'll fire this bike up. Like any Kawasaki inline 4-cylinder, I say it every time, but as soon as you start it, it just gives such a feeling of smoothness. Even just the noise of it, it sounds smooth. And that smoothness is perfect for a bike like this. Touring bike, you want it to be smooth and easy to get along with, and this kind of engine is going to be perfect for that. So swinging a leg, Obviously quite a big size bike, being an 1100 and a tourer. Height wise, not too bad. I'm about 6 foot and I can quite easily flat foot it, so it's somewhat approachable. You definitely feel there is a lot of bike in front of you. Wide tank, wide dash, looks really good. The screen is really nice and tall, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of wind resistance. It looks like you can adjust it somehow. I don't really know how, so for now we will not touch that. Yeah, let's get on the road, see how it rides. We're going to start off in road mode and we will mess around with the modes as we go. Wow, it's just every Kawasaki is just effortless to ride. They're so good. The clutch feel, the smoothness, every single Kawasaki video, I know I say it, I probably sound like a broken record, but they're just perfect for the road. So smooth, and the quick shifter on all their latest models, every single time I ride one, the quick shifters amaze me, because I mean, look how low in the revs we are. Second, 2000 revs, 4th gear, 5th, 6th, doesn't upset the bike or anything, it's just seamless into gear. And the same can be said about the auto blipper down. It's just very pleasant, and yeah, this bike is extremely comfortable and extremely easy to ride, which is kind of perfect for this kind of bike. That's what you want. You want to be able to ride around town with absolute ease, and that's what's nice. Is it may look intimidating, you know, the size of the bike and everything. You kind of think, oh, it might be hard work to ride, but as soon as you get moving, you completely forget about the weight, you completely forget about the size, and it's just so easy in traffic and all kinds of mannerisms on the road. Dive into the dash a bit. Now, I think for me, the preload's one of the surprising things on this bike for the price of it. So my Tracer didn't have this, and a GT Plus Tracer is about 16 and a bit grand. So if you look in the corner there, where you have that little man, as I hold down the preload button here, it will automatically change the preload. So this is for single rider only. You hold it down, then you have single rider and luggage, so it will adapt the bike to what it thinks is best for that. Hold it down again, and it also has for rider, pillion and luggage. So that is super handy to do, that it can do all that for you at the touch of the button without you having to mess around with any of that. As for the rider modes, as always, we've got rider mode, which is where you can customize it. In fact, I'll go back down into that. You see you've got power mode, traction control, we have the rain mode, road mode, and sport mode. So yeah, like I said, on the rider mode at the bottom there, you can customize whether you want it full power, low power. Traction control levels normally has around about 2, and this one does have something else which I will try and figure out for you guys. So it's going to be suspension, so you've got hard, normal or soft. Apologies, like I said, first ride review, so I'm figuring this all out as we go. So that's that. You can also display a lot of different things on this bike, which is nice. So let's have a look at that. So you've got range, average speed, total time, battery, gives your battery voltage, which is nice, miles per gallon, it can give your fuel range, which is a nice bonus, average speed, etc. And on the top there, trips. It gives your lean angle as you're riding, which is super cool. As you can see there, left 40 degrees, right 37 degrees, that's super cool. We will start it up and have a listen. Again, like I always say, Euro emissions, so it's nothing crazy. Get a nice intake airbox noise for the rider, which helps with the emissions, give you a bit more personality to the bike whilst riding, but then people on the outside, it's not too loud. But yeah, there you go, there's a little look into some of the tech on the bike and the dash, etc. Now we will finally jump on and I will cut to some nice country roads so we can get a proper good feel for the bike. We can test out the cruise control, so button in the middle there and then set, and your cruise controls working away nice and easy. And as always, plus speed at the top there and drop speed at the bottom, and then when there's traffic in front, all you have to do tap on the brakes and you regain control and slow down as you go. Bulletproof system, works the same on all Kawasaki models, and it's very, very easy to use. This one as well has heated grips, so the control is just on the side here, nice and easy to use. Press it once, it will come into life, and you have normally a low, medium and high setting, I would assume, which kind of changes as you click it. In fact, no, I think I'm wrong now. I think they are either just on or off by the looks of it. But yeah, again, easy to use, very useful in winter, and this bike has amazing protection against the elements. Obviously the heated grips, hand guards, you've got the great big screen which is fully adjustable. Because the front of the bike is quite wide, it blocks a lot of the wind from hitting your legs, and yeah, generally it's a very good winter rider. And like I said in the start of the ride, I will reiterate, the smoothness of the engine really adds to that, makes it so pleasurable to ride on any kind of road you can imagine. You know, 30 zones of speed bumps, obviously you can adjust the suspension between medium, soft and hard, which helps with things like that. Open 60 roads like this, it just chills, eats the miles completely. Motorways, it does absolute wonders, obviously with the cruise control, the smoothness, everything. Motorway miles, absolute breeze on this bike. You all know that, so in this video I'm not really going to test that too much. As I always do with my videos, we're going to go to some nice country roads and test the bike in that kind of atmosphere, as of course everyone knows this bike's going to be amazing on a motorway. But the question is, you know, when you do your long distance tour to say Italy and you've done all the motorways, it's handled amazingly. When you get onto some nice twisty roads, can you still have fun on this bike, or would you be disappointed on it? So yeah, that's what we're going to go and do now. We're going to go and test it out and see how it is. And overtaking as well, there's an absolute breeze. The only thing I've slightly picked up on the bike is obviously being an inline 4-cylinder, you do have to let it scream a bit, and down low you see there full throttle in 6th gear and stuff, it's a bit flat. You obviously feel that there isn't that immediate torque of you'd get with like a 2-cylinder or something like that. So that's one thing to know on a motorway. If you're wanting to quickly go from cruising to acceleration, you can't be lazy with it in a way, which isn't really a bad thing, I don't think, but it will just mean that rather than on some other bikes with a bit more torque, you can just stay in 6th and ride it out to overtake. This one you might have to go down a couple of gears, but that is not a problem at all, and adds to some involvement in the bike, I suppose. But yeah, we are here on some country roads, let's feel it. You can really hear that airbox noise scream when you give it some welly, and it just almost kind of feels like it just floats down the road, you know. It doesn't feel heavy at all, everything's just so smooth and well put together. It definitely doesn't feel cheap. And yeah, it just kind of, you just feel like you waft along really. And wow, that auto blip is so nice to use. Hopefully we can get some clearer roads to feel it, but from that little segment there I can feel that it is a fun bike for sure. You know, it's not going to be the most characterful ride on a country road in the world, being an inline 4-cylinder, but the smoothness, the auto blipper, the quick shifter works so nicely, adds an amazing amount of engagement to the ride, and it by no means feels like a 255 kg bike on the twisties. The weight really does disappear on this bike when you get moving, and you can see there, you can tip it in nicely. It doesn't really feel as sluggish as you would expect it to be for the weight of it. Obviously it's not leaning in the same category as a sport bike, but that's an obvious statement to make. For what it is, it's impressive. It really is impressive the way it allows you to lean in, and yeah, it gives you confidence as well. It doesn't lack the confidence for it. Obviously very first stages of this road, hopefully we can get some more openness to test it a bit better shortly. Amazing stopping power as well. I'm a huge fan of that front brake feel actually, as it's very gradual, so you can give a good amount of you know, it's not too on and off like some bikes can sometimes feel. You can kind of give it the right amount so that you're not braking too much, but then when you actually do fully give it some good pressure, there is plenty of stopping power there. Probably haven't explained that very well, but it's very easy to modulate the brake. It's basically what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, see, it's definitely got plenty of power there to be able to lift the front wheel up like that. Wasn't really expecting it to come up there. Yeah, wouldn't normally be doing that on a bike that isn't my own, but there you go. Good test. Is the bike powerful? Well, it lifts the front wheel in first gear, so it's definitely packing some power there. And that was ease as well. That was not even full throttle. It's a very commanding riding position as well. You feel very high up and very tall on the bike. When you're in the low gears, there's plenty of immediate power there to get some overtakes done. Yeah, it leans in nicely, very nicely. And there's an immediate, if you're in the right gear, there is a great pull out of the corners as well. Once it kind of hits that power band, it really takes off. Then it scream a bit. What's that, about 10,000 RPM rev limiter. So yeah, it's revs out pretty decently far, and it definitely is fast. And the power delivery is just so seamless, so smooth. The fueling just feels just absolutely perfect on this bike. All of Kawasaki's inline four-cylinder engines, you have to give credit where credit is due. The fueling always just feels so on point and perfect. No matter where you are in the revs, there's never a flat spot. The power's always just perfectly linear. Yeah, this feels really, really good. And I love the analog gauge there showing you the RPMs. I like that you have a bit of both. You have a bit of modern tech, but you also have that bit of kind of just character in a way to the display. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. It will be sad to see Kawasaki get rid of it for one big screen, to be honest. I know they kind of like to do that for the sat-nav aspect of it, and obviously on a bike like this, that is something that is an obvious thing that you would include. But me personally, I wouldn't want that. I would much rather use Waze on my phone on a quad lock here anyway, because usually it works a lot better. It can give you a lot more up-to-date warnings about traffic, mobile speed cameras, potholes even, stuff like that. So for me personally, if I was to be consuming a bike like this, I wouldn't be too fussed on that. I would probably want to go for a display like this and just use my phone on a little quad lock on the bars. But yeah, makes sense. I get why they would do it, but for me personally, I prefer this kind of dash. For what this bike needs to do, it ticks everything off already. Obviously it's got the amazing touring, amazing day-to-day commuting, traffic, slow roads, anything, commuting to work, commuting to Italy, twisty roads. It kind of just does a bit of everything, and it does them all pretty damn well. So yeah, this bike is an amazing package, and for the price, I think it's a very competitive price compared to the competition. When you compare it to Tracer 9, you know, the GT Plus nowadays is about 18 grand, and the base model is definitely more money than this. Would I take this over a Tracer 9? I think I would. Don't get me wrong, the Tracer 9 is probably a little more playful and maybe a bit more fun, but for what you buy this bike for, the touring aspect of it, this feels a lot more capable for touring. It feels a lot smoother, a lot, I wouldn't say a lot easier to ride. The Tracer is very easy to ride, but just this inline four-cylinder engine I think is the perfect kind of engine for this bike, and it does everything really nice. There's a lot of nice technology on this. Yeah, I think this bike would take my pick over the Tracer 9. Really let this engine sing. Just feels like a train, the way, like the size of it in front of you and the weight, but it just goes. It really gives a feeling of a train. That's what I find really funny about touring bikes. It's a very alien feeling being in this riding position, but being so fast. The funniest thing is, I'm sure you lot probably picked up on it, but I left the preload set in there for 2 people and luggage. No luggage on the bike, 1 person. So yeah, we will get a second go at the twisties now, and if it felt pretty good with that setting, I can only imagine now it will feel even better. So yeah, update you when I feel more, but interesting to see that that's the mode I was in, because it might feel even more capable now. Oh, that feel on the front brake is so nice. Nice, yeah. Yeah, in first gear there, it just wants to lift the wheel. That's awesome. And yeah, my mistake in the first part of that ride, it still felt good with the preload to 2 people and luggage, but you do notice a big difference when you change it, and now I'm with only 1 person on the preload. You feel it does stiffen up a little, not as soft, not as bouncy in the corners, and you definitely notice that it gives it a capable feeling in the corners, which, yeah. Filtering wise, how does the bike stack up? Obviously it gives a feeling when at slow speeds. It doesn't feel like it's heavy in the sense that it is very easy to ride, but you are obviously mindful that you are on quite a big bike, so that does slightly decrease your confidence with gaps in terms of filtering. But in this aspect of how easy is it actually to ride at these slow speeds and be kind of on and off the brakes, in and out of the clutch, it gives a lot of confidence because it's extremely maneuverable and extremely easy to ride, and it's smooth. I've said that 5 million times in this review. It's easy to ride and smooth, but it is very, very, very easy to manage at slow speeds, and you don't feel the weight one bit. Like I said, the only thing you are really mindful is, can I fit through that gap? Half the time you probably can, but just because you are mindful that there is so much in front of you, the bike does feel a little big, so you are a bit mindful of that. But other than that, it's amazing for filtering. Really can't complain about it. It's just easy. Right, so there we go guys, there is the Versys 1100. Really thoroughly enjoyed that bike, to be honest. It's really, really good, and it does almost make me miss having a touring bike in my life, as they're just so effortless, and it just, you jump on them and you feel like you can ride to Italy without a problem in the world. So yeah, really impressed with that bike. Really great bike, great value for money. I think I really enjoyed that. As always, thank you to the amazing guys at Kawasaki for being incredibly welcoming for me to come down and review the bikes. Make sure to check them out if you are interested in a Kawasaki and a host of other used stock that they do offer. But yeah, as always guys, thank you very much for watching. Do let me know what bike you want to see me review next time, and I will try my best to make it happen. Obviously it's not always possible, but I will always try my best to make it happen. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for plenty more videos like this to come, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers.